be able to have the kind of cultural heritage. Of course, we do need an auditorium, but these are many, many features that we have advocated. I'll send you that report.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Also, ma'am, I would like to highlight that during today's event, we have also encouraged all our experts to submit a concept note for Delhi, which we'll be consolidating and giving as a recommendation to the tourism department. So now I would next like to call upon Mr. Santosh Kumar, Country Head, Bookings.com, a global platform leader bringing data-driven innovation to local travel markets. Also, ma'am, so Bookings also gives insightful reports on how to drive tourism in the country, what are the experiences that are hit, what are the destinations that are hit. So again, a very prominent figure in the tourism industry. Santosh.
Thank you so much, Manas. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here. CM Rekha Gupta ji, Kapil Mishra ji, Niharika Rai, thank you so much. I really appreciate that you're doing this. I think it's a step in the right direction. I want to start with an apology. Mera Hindi thoda kamzor hai. I am from the south. Hindi is my third language. So if you don't mind, I will speak in English. You know, having said that, I make up in other ways. I chose to live in Delhi rather than Gurgaon. I'm married to a Delhiite. And also, you know, outside of Bangalore, Delhi is the city where I've spent most of my life, right? So I have a personal passion for Delhi. You know, when I was thinking about what to say here, and I thought, you know, I think it's important. I think there have been a lot of really good suggestions which have already come forth. But, you know, I thought, let me start with what should be the strategic objective behind the rebranding of Delhi. And I think when we think about that, rebranding of Delhi has to be around making it a premium heritage and cultural hub, combining its ancient soul with modern experiences, targeting domestic Indian and global travelers seeking authentic, transformative, and immersive journeys, right? And I had 3 pillars that I really wanted to suggest or put forward for consideration here. And you know, it comes from a good place, right? There are a lot of suggestions. Number 1 is around heritage and cultural attractions. You know, we put out a How India Travels report every year. Last year, we focused on the inbound segment coming into India, and we are in the unique position of bringing the most travelers into this country every year. And we asked thousands of these travelers, when you think of India, when you think of Delhi as a destination, what is it that makes you go there? And the number 1 thing that they said was iconic landmarks. And interestingly, 41% of Gen Z travelers and 38% of millennials told us this, right? And that's the future. So for us, we need to capitalize on that. And some of the ideas here is, you know, we need to think about introducing maybe a Delhi pass, an opportunity to provide bundled experiences across attractions, including transportation, hop on, hop off, things like that, in line with all the global destinations, what they do. We need to think about revitalizing our monuments and historic sites. Some of the ideas here are after our guided tours, exclusive access at a premium fee. I remember, for example, when I went to Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, I had breakfast with a historian before the public opening of the museum, right? And I paid a premium price for that. The ASI website, you know, last evening I was trying to book Red Fort tickets at 7 p.m. And, you know, I'm sure there is a perfectly good, valid reason behind this, but it said I cannot book tickets beyond 6 p.m. And I cannot book a ticket beyond 7 days from now. When we think about an average international traveler who's coming into India, they're going to book their ticket 2 months in advance, 3 months in advance, right? I can't think of why we are limiting booking of monument tickets 1 week before the actual trip date. Another example I can give you, you know, the fee for, talking about the same Red Fort, fee for international visitors is 500 rupees. I went to Palace of Versailles last year in you know, outskirts of Paris. I paid 45 euros, 4,500 INR for just the entry ticket and a VR experience. So let's think about how can we premiumize some of these experiences, because people are willing to pay today for experiences. Housecast Village, you know, I mean, I went there 13 years ago when I moved to Delhi. What a fabulous place, hidden treasure of Delhi. You had al fresco dining. It felt like Europe, right? Looking at the tombs, looking at the village, the lake, etc. Now, unfortunately, not a lot of people go to Housecaste Village. You don't have that same sort of experience. I think there's an opportunity to revamp it. So that's one area, one pillar, heritage and cultural attractions. Accommodations is another one. Accommodations, I think, Delhi, when we look at the branded accommodation space, of course, Delhi can do with more supply. Having said that, Delhi enjoys a very good occupancy level, roughly 80%. Also, when we look at average daily rates, they're about 14,000 rupees, little less than Mumbai. It's still affordable for the premium segment. But having said that, heritage accommodation has come up as one of the highest preferred accommodation types for international tourists coming into Delhi. So what can we do to encourage heritage accommodations? What can we do to maybe offer subsidies on property tax or other schemes related to renovations, etc.? We also can look at short-term rentals in a big way, to deal with the crunch when it comes to supply. Short-term rentals, when I think about a couple of other examples, Melbourne has done something very interesting, Melbourne, Australia. They capitalized on events held in the city and they ran campaigns, marketing campaigns, encouraging people to list their short-term rentals for a temporary period of time. Similarly, I have another example in Lisbon, Portugal, where they have eased a lot of licensing and registration requirements for short-term rentals and made it easier for people to list their accommodation. By this, we can also disperse tourism traffic across the city. And we can also deal with peak and non-peak periods as well. And then the final pillar, what I wanted to suggest is around marketing, digital and brand campaigns. And here it comes back to utilizing data. This is also our strength as a company, using data to shape campaigns and products. The foundational element, what can we do via DTT, DC to capture and analyze data across several platforms, right? You look at airport IRCTC data, you look at travel technology companies like ourselves, booking platforms, mapping the search intent with conversion. Look at telecom and mobile data, understand spending patterns of travelers who are coming into the city. What are their movements in the city, credit card and UPI data, etc. Use this data then to segment those travelers who are coming in, understand their movements, and then tailor marketing efforts and drive specific campaigns. For example, a specific campaign could be promote Delhi in winter to Western tourists who are coming in. Analyze data that's available from Airports Authority of India and airlines to maybe identify certain source markets. Why can't we do maybe a free transit visa, for example, for visitors from certain countries who are coming in, maybe during the non-peak periods? So introduce pilots and scale what works. Look at all touch points of a foreign tourist. I'll give you a personal example. Three or 4 months back, I was going through T3, the airport with the highest number of footfall in the country. And in each gate, we have these television screens. We have these monitors. And unfortunately, all the monitors were playing something from a media channel. And let's just say, media channels sometimes do tend to sensitivize or promote certain negative news. And unfortunately, that was playing in T3, where you have the most amount of footfall, right? So we need to be sensitive about such things, right? What does a traveler see? What is their first impression of the country? And then finally, also fixing Delhi's perception as an unsafe city. Especially for women and solo travelers, requires multi-layered approach that combines real policy reform, civic infrastructure upgrades, and a powerful storytelling campaign. The goal isn't to change the narrative, but it is to change the lived experience first, so that then we can amplify it in an authentic manner.
Sorry, sir, just a bit reminder about the time.
I'm done, sorry.
Yeah.
My last closing statement is, Delhi does not need reinvention. It just needs reinterpretation. And I think with the right partnerships, we are more than happy to come together, collaborate, and take it to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. बहुत ही अच्छे suggestions हैं आपके, और we will look after that. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I call upon Bez Barua, sir. Bez Barua, sir, has also been the Secretary Tourism with Central Ministry of Tourism, and he represents Hotel Association of India. Sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for inviting me here, and it's a great, I would like to compliment the Chief Minister for interacting with the industry and the stakeholders. I remember only a few months back, the Prime Minister had such an interaction. It was unprecedented. And I don't have the expertise that the whole House today has, but I have only one expertise that is relating to policy. So I would mention two or three policy issues only. The Prime Minister had made a very important suggestion that said, now it is time to roll out the road map. Now, most important part is that if you have to roll out the road map, we must have a destination. So I would strongly suggest to the Delhi has got everything, as it has been mentioned, and lots of suggestions will come. And based on that, I think you must draw up a vision 47 now, so the gaps that you have got, and in those gaps, how to go forward with PPP, which you have suggested, which is very important. Put in position something of PPP in a systemic manner that you interact not only once today, but as a systemic manner. I would strongly suggest also that recommendation, which was also in the draft policy, that you can consider having a state tourism board, where under your leadership sometimes you can have interaction with the stakeholders and you can have the policy, etc., to come out. I will not take much time. So far as the hospitality industry is concerned, we are all there and they are eager to do whatever is necessary. All efforts are there. We need a few small things. One is the ease of doing business. Ragini will give you the report, which will show the number of licenses, etc., required pre and post, which need to be looked into. I was just talking to Aman about the Sarais Act, for example. Is still 19th Century Act is still going on today. We need to 18. So we need to do a look at some of those things. And I think it is also essential to look at incentives, some of the incentives like infrastructure status, like industry benefits, etc., which you are doing. I would like to compliment the Delhi administration for the recent doing away with the license system, taking away from the police, etc. It's a first step, and I think you can do a lot more. I was going to talk about Delhi is the custodian of the nation's image and the image of the future. And that, I think, requires that we make Delhi a beautiful city, which you are all talking about. I was going to talk about what Rajji was talking about. Jamuna could be the focal point, and you have said what you are doing. I wish you all luck in that. Every press, London, Paris, Cairo, talk about the symbol is something flowing by the side. And we have the Yamuna, which is a pathetic situation today. I'm so glad you are taking. There are lots to be said. I would not take more time. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you. Now invite Amarnath sir, historian. So